My eyes, my mind, everything was sore. I had felt as if my head had been ripped open, and I started seeing light. At that time, a new fragment of me came in as well. I had I had felt that I had been the archangel Rachel, sorely confused with the archangel Raphael, and me and my brother Uriel were different from what the Bible had told us. We had been born, not created, meaning not only did we come into this world differently than the rest of the angels, but we also had a gender. For anyone who does not know about angels, they truly have no gender, nor do they have the need. And as the other thing was that there were also the replicas of us in hell. As everything has a twin. The next day I had school. I went, and I was battling something different. I don't remember what. But things, but I remember things becoming bright and seeing trails of light and stress. I saw stress. And not only was there stress amongst the people I that passed by me as I sat, there was also loud conversations being held within my head. A roar of people, it seemed. And and as it was college, not only were there students, living human beings around me, there were also guides and spirits and angels. I remember going to one of my classes. It was my math class. And in this particular class, there were more adults than there were young students. The pain, the headache I got because of all the stress they had was tremendous. In a way, I started slipping. I was not doing well in school. Not only because I had just awakened and I was confused, but because I slowly was gaining an obsession, so to say, of writing, always writing. Several times I had the thought of leaving, running to a faraway destination, to separate myself from the people who would possibly never completely understand. During one of these first times, I met another fragment of myself. Supposedly I was Eve, from Adam and Eve, and I was crazy. She was crazy. I started writing something with her. I don't really remember what. But I do know that it was about how the Bible had been sorely written and was sorely wrong. It was a good writing too. At least I thought. Amongst the many spiritual beings I met, the king during this time was one of the most helpful. He was like an ultimate soulmate. He had been one of the first kings of Atlantis, the one who broke up his land and gave it to his son, when he felt he should retire from his crown. From time to time I was given drills, training that had previously had me understand more about myself, understand more of my strengths, and more of what I could do. One, for example, was bridging the ending world to the realm of Atlantis or Mu. I had to find a way to build a bridge for all the souls to cross. And there had been the saying that when all the world was about to end, that the Mayans and the Aztecs would help the sun and the moon as they needed. As the king had been a father to me in a previous lifetime, he was also a current protector. And he felt, and he told me, that if he put all the heart of all the humans in his throat and did not swallow, then he could save them all. And he did that for me. I will never forget the love he showed me, especially on that day. For the most part, I was able to pass most of the drills. During the couple weeks that had started to pass, there had been some repeating incidences. I struggled with the weight of a particular demon in my head, though I never called him a demon myself, nor did he. On and off, he would come crashing upon me with great strides of trying to teach me of his and his people's lessons. His way was the only right way. It started as simply as projecting his thoughts into my head and having me write them down. One of his first acts of controlling was putting pressure on on the temples of my head. It would be as if a person had come up behind me and had both of their hands squeezing, trying to smash my skull in on both sides. Or just using their thumbs on the indents of my temples. And though it did not feel like it was being squeezed, there was the pressure that still remained. But I was a fighter. He, the demon, or whoever he was, whatever he was, called himself it. And he made sure that he was related to anything that gave him power. And this thing, and he did tend to entice in which the power that he saw enticed him and made his greed more. He made me consider doing horrible acts just for sleep. For sleep and peace of mind was something he could grant me. But it wasn't just sleep. He told me constantly about not reading other people's thoughts, about how some things were better than others, and how that if I continued, I would eventually be killed. Seeing his thoughts of that, and just doing one thing wrong would throw him off. Sometimes I would feel as if